Hello and welcome to A Bit Above Podcast.
I'm Audra.
And I'm Hadassah, and we are two average women living oceans apart. Our show displays a reachable lifestyle where we work to be better versions of ourselves in our day-to-day life. We know that the constant strive for perfection can lead to anxieties and disappointment, so we make changes that enhance our lives without giving up the things we love. Join us each week as we chat about motherhood, positivity, feel-good stories, relationships, and everything in between. Audra, how do I look right now? What would you say I look like?
I'm not stereotyping the gangster look by saying you look gangsta. Like you literally.
I wouldn't even want to make fun of gangsters by how horrible I look.
I'm not. I'm complimenting their uniqueness, but the hat with the,
It's not a hat.
Wait, what?
No.
What is it?
It's a hood.
That's your hood? Is your headphones have it pulled tight across your forehead? It looks like a hat.
I'm wearing like this cardigan that's also a hoodie. And so it doesn't zip or anything or button, but it's basically like a cardigan just with a hood.
I have so many questions. Why do they make cardigans with hoods but no zip or button?
It's wear over. I don't know. Whatever. It was in the trendy section at the store that I bought it from. So it probably was like one of those trendy things.
Oh, was it a trendy store though?
Not really, but it was a store I worked at. Like I was always keeping my eyes out for the things that did I say eyes weird? Eyes.
Yep.
Owls. I always keep my eyes out for the things that I want when they come in as new. And then when they go on sale, I buy it then. So this was one of the things I got probably for like $5.
Oh, because I find, trendy things at the stores I shop, but I don't think Walmart or Target are very trendy compared to other stores that people shop at.
Target's pretty trendy,
Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, I shop at trendy stores.
Well, you know what's weird? I just thought of it now because I was doing it, but I'm having an issue like yawning.
Lack of oxygen to the brain is why you yawn. That's the only thing I remember from science. All those years, teachers, all those classes. That is the only thing I remember. Do you think it's a lack of oxygen?
It's not that I'm yawning too much. It's that I can't complete the yawn.
Now that sounds problematic.
It's been like a few weeks.
So wait, you start to yawn, but you don't get the full release of a yawn?
Right. I just did it right now. That's why I thought of it. It's really frustrating though.
Well, this is going to sound stupid, but where does it go?
It just never completes.
We need more than a therapist. We need like an Ask a Doctor section.
But, sometimes I can't, sometimes I could. Like it just depends. But whatever. I don't know. It's a concern. Also, my teeth hurt, but whatever. Okay, it's cool.
And by the way, my teeth hurt. Hadassah's officially falling apart on us, people.
I thought we were coming here and telling our symptoms.
I don't think Josh, the therapist, can help us with our physical ailments. But mentally, he'll be like, it's okay. Or
no, he'll say, go to the doctor.
Yeah, for sure. He would.
Okay. Well, let's go through the topics that we have today. So let's just address Clubhouse first, because we said that we were going to address it today, but it's a very in-depth thing. And maybe we shouldn't have said we were going to figure it all out by Friday, which was basically 2 days after he said it. We'll address it when it comes up, but I don't think people are going to be that worried that we didn't figure it out.
It's a bigger undertaking than we imagined, so we will have to follow up in a future episode once we gain more information on this.
Yeah, because we're going to want to have a consistent schedule with that, and so we're not ready to commit to a consistent schedule because we're still building our schedule, which was basically something that wasn't so busy, and now it's been very busy, so we're still, but it's good. All good things. Everything's good.
I'm fine. You're fine. Everything's fine.
Okay. So I had a question a year-ish ago that I'm like, now we have a podcast. Now we have conversations. We should bring it up. So I'm going to ask you what you think of this and we'll go from there. Okay. So when I got engaged and I was planning my wedding, I was wondering if I'm supposed to invite my therapist to the wedding because she obviously is a huge part of my life. She's probably why I got married. She's probably why everything's so great, So the question would have been is if we're supposed to invite her to the wedding. And I thought about it for so long and it just didn't feel right not to. And then I felt guilty not to, but I didn't because I didn't want to be inappropriate. So what do you think, Audra?
Another reason why I will never get married. I will never have to worry about this.
Wait, that can't be the reason why you don't get married because you're not going to therapy.
No, I don't ever have to worry about who to invite and who not to invite because we'll never get married.
Okay, well,
I do think that for the quote unquote norm, I'm perplexed because I feel like at one point it would be good to invite your therapist because you do have a bond with this person and they've got to know you, especially if you say you were going there for like 10 or more years. You know what I mean? You're like part of the fam practically.
Mm-hmm. I'd been going for like 2 years. That's a good solid amount of time, you know?
I do wonder what the right or wrong answer would be to that, because I guess I would invite like a therapist. I mean, I'd probably invite, heavens, if anyone knew that I was getting married, I'd invite the whole dang world just to see who showed up. Let's be honest.
Oh my God. Stop making this about you though. You keep spinning this on your situation. You're not even married. So like clearly this
no desire whatsoever.
Oh God.
What it would be like. I think if I were you, I would say you invite them because why not? What's the worst case answer if you ask somebody a question or ask them to do something? Is the word no. I know, 2 letters out of an alphabet, big yay. Doesn't matter, but maybe they would feel offended if you didn't invite them.
Right. That's what I thought. I mean, well, in my head, I thought like it would be awkward afterwards if I invited her and she said no.
She's like, I saw your dance moves on that floor and we need to now have a new therapy session because I find that we should have a conversation about those moves.
No.
Wait, what if she analyzes your wedding vows?
We don't have vows.
Oh, that's right.
It's all like red. The same thing is red at every wedding.
Wow, that sounds so personalized.
No, it's really special. And also people can do things like when my friend got married, she said like a Hebrew paragraph. I can't tell you what she said because I didn't understand it, but it was.
I thought you were going to say it was something like really sensitive or really personal and private to her. And you're like, no,
why would it be at the wedding?
You have to Google American vows. People have some funny vows or they write vows to their other person that only the 2 of them at the altar get. And the whole rest of the audience is like, what are they talking about?
It wasn't that. Yeah, it was more something about like my love, my heart, my rock, all those things. But basically she had recorded it before. So when she was walking down the aisle, it was playing.
Oh, wow. That's unique.
About like the inviting therapist to the wedding, we should really ask Josh about it, no?
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, all those questions that we had about therapists, we should ask him. He's like our go-to questions guy.
Well, why don't we just do that? Why don't we just ask him our random questions and see what he has to say? And then for the really, really big topics, we'll have him on for more in-depth conversations because we love to hear what he knows.
Let's pause recording and send him a message, okay?
Okay.
So the question is it appropriate for a client to invite their therapist to their wedding? The bigger concern for me would be for the therapist, if a client did invite you to their wedding, would you go? So that'd be the question that I would be more concerned about, because if my client invited me to their wedding, I would probably feel very honored and flattered to do that. Now, that's also based particularly on each client. I definitely wouldn't feel offended, but in a lot of cases, it would just speak to how good the therapist-client relationship is. And what we know from like research is that that's the bulk of therapy, at least in terms of progress in therapy, is heavily determined on the therapist-client relationship. Now, there could be a sense, too, of the client could be dealing with some sense of, a compulsive attachment, or it could fit with their pathology to some degree that you're working on. And that would all that would do, though, is just open up avenues for the therapist to talk with their client about, what compelled them to invite them. But my first response probably would be, that is really nice of you and meaningful to me that you would think of me like that. But then there is the what should the therapist do? And in my professional opinion, from not just it is an ethical point of view, but it's also as part of that ethical point of view to protect the therapist-client relationship. I would say that the therapist would most likely need to decline the invitation. And it wouldn't be because the therapist doesn't think that client is someone special, but it would actually be because the client is so important to them and their therapy is so important that they need to go ahead and decline this invitation. Therapists take boundaries and confidentiality very, very seriously, and they don't want to partake in anything that could potentially damage that or violate that and then damage the therapist-client relationship, because we know that's an important part of success. And so those of you listening to this, if you feel compelled to invite your therapist to your wedding, I'm sure, or I hope anyways, your therapist would feel flattered by that. But also, don't be surprised if they decline the offer, and try to understand it's actually because they care about you, not because they don't want to attend your wedding. There are definitely a lot of clients that if I could make it work with time situation and time constraints, I probably would attend their weddings if it was a different relationship. But in the therapist-client relationship, they're too important to me, and what the work that we're doing is too important to do that. And so anyways, it's a great question. And those of you that are out there doing therapy, I hope that you're knocking it out and you're making lots of progress. Thanks.
I guess we should have asked him a third part of the question is, if you do decline, do you still send a gift?
That'd be a lot of gifts, no?
Yeah, let's go back to I'd invite everybody.
I think it's interesting what he said, because I guess there's nothing wrong with inviting the therapist, but I guess it will be the therapist's job to decide whether or not it is appropriate. See, I feel like I'm a normal person, but I'm sure you're not just going to go to it's like you don't go home with your students, you don't go home with, even though I may be normal and cool and fun, but then we have a good connection, but she's my therapist. I don't know. I wonder what she would have said if I would have asked her.
I guess it would be really hard. So, there's so many things. Number one, your therapist goes, and maybe it's not appropriate from the go, and they're dancing on the tables at the end of the night because you had open bar. That might not be the type of therapist that you want to go next time. You're like, hey, I remember the last time I saw you. Also, certain clients that the therapist have, they may not want to go because they're there for very specific, real, raw situations. And it's just not, and a wedding just isn't a place where they want to mesh the two together. Nobody wants to have a family barbecue or, something, invite your therapist, and all of a sudden there's a brawl and your therapist is trying to sort out the whole family drama. I could just see this unfolding on some reality TV or something crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like stuff like that only happens on TV. I don't know if real families have this.
Oh, I don't know.
Somebody listening is like, nope, that happened at my wedding.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that was mine. Mm-hmm. I got pictures too.
Well, okay, I guess I learned that I should have just invited her and see what happened. Turned out my wedding got canceled, so it really didn't matter. See, watch me stick that in wherever I can find it fitting.
And then your therapist is like, hey, could have gave me an invite. Oh, and by the way, I wouldn't have made it in the 26 minutes you whipped it together.
All right, well, let's see. What else do we have to discuss?
What do we not? Oh my gosh.
Right. Okay. So I guess we can go straight into a topic that I'm excited about, because I'm a media junkie and I know you have your things as well. So let's go over the different kind of media that makes us happy. So we're going to do the things that would make us happy, but media edition. Okay. So it's kind of another version of self-care if you think about it, because anything that's filling in your what is it called? Filling your cup or making you feel good is self-care. So this actually would fall under self-care. So I'm going to start with you, Audra. So let's go over your music that makes you happy. Okay.
Oh gosh. So I live and breathe by music. Music picks you up. Music puts you in a deep place sometimes. If you're really having a mood, and certain music, either helps you get through that mood or keeps you calm when you're having anxiety, all the things. If you're having a bad day, you want something that brings you up. If you're having a bad day and you want something that keeps you down, music is all sorts of things. However, Lately, I have been listening to, after getting an invite from a friend on Facebook Live, there is Gareth Asher, who plays on Facebook at 8 p.m. on Friday nights, Eastern Standard Time. He's based out of Georgia, and he is amazing. I listened the first Friday night. He played like every other Friday night back then, and I think it was like a couple months ago at this point. And I love it. He plays his own music that he's made. He's been in the business for a very long time. I believe both his parents are musically inclined as well. He also has a friend, Jesse Tyler, who comes on and plays with him as well. And so sometimes it's him by himself and sometimes it's the duo, but simply amazing. I look forward to my Friday nights. They now play every Friday night because of COVID, can't go out, can't go anywhere, can't go to a venue. And it is amazing. It is the best 1.5 to 2 hours of my night. And I just can't express it enough because I love the music. He'll even play requests of like some oldies and goodies songs. And, last week I was having a bit of a week and he played a song for me via a request because I told him I was having a rough week. I wasn't lying. And it was one of his songs, which was amazing.
Let's play the clip of a little bit of what the request that he did for you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's going out to Audra. I hope Audra's here. Audra says she had a rough week and she needed some better days. So this is for you, Audra. I hope for better weeks. Let's go ahead and say this is better years. Let's get better years. Better weeks, better months, better days, minutes, better seconds, all of it. Better time increments. Happy Friday, y'all. Let's get it rocking.
I will be your light. I promise. I promise. Shine like a star so bright. And I'm honest. And I'm honest, yeah. Was a time when I remember I was afraid of fear. Was a time when I recall that I couldn't see clear. Was a time when I'd revert back to my younger ways. But these are better days. Oh, these are better days. Yeah.
He's good. He does sound good. I just, I wake up every Saturday morning and there's always requests for me to join his live from you. And I always miss it. And sometimes like once ever, I like listen to it because I wanted to know what you kept talking about all the time. But he is really good. We're going to have to like watch him and see where he goes in the music industry.
Yeah. I mean, literally he has albums. I mean, he worked with Nappy Roots. He has Gareth Asher and the Earthlings. He has Ink and Ash. I mean, there are so many different things that he's been a part of. And so you can go down, the rabbit hole of music with him and look him up on YouTube. There's videos on Apple Music.
We'll have some links down below. So we'll have a little Gareth Asher's section down below.
Yeah. Bandcamp. I bought that whole music thing, like 10 songs, $10, like super inexpensive, but it's just simply amazing. Like I love when you connect with an artist and then you feel like their music influences you personally. So like you can be in the car jamming. Like I love every Gareth song comes on. I love when a Pink song comes on. I love when a Steven Tyler song comes on. There are just Tupac comes on, hands are in the air. Hopefully one's still on the steering wheel. And you're saying all the words, right? You've got all the lyrics down. You're blaring it from the rooftops. Absolutely love it. My music genre is all over the place. So what about you, Hadassah? What music really
makes you happy?
Sure.
Well, Audra, see, I knew you would talk about that for 10 minutes. This is why I started there, because all she does is talk about Gareth Asher, which I'm sure he's lovely, but imagine if your friend talked about one person all the time.
It's because he's new. So it's amazing. And he's like,
no, I'm with you.
Like real. Like, I feel like I've never gone to a concert, people, ever in my entire life, not a single concert. Never even driven by one that was going in motion. Never. I feel like there's an opportunity to maybe see somebody like on Facebook Live. I feel like I'm at maybe a concert. I might be sitting in my living room and watching it on my TV, but I feel like I'm a part of the audience in some way. And I think that's like the biggest thing for any artist. But like, what are the chances that I'm going to be able to afford to go to a Pink or a Steven Tyler concert? Like, let's be real. I could probably afford a Gareth Asher concert or venue. You know what I mean? I don't even know what the right
5 minutes
is.
later, she's still talking.
All right, let's go on. What about you? What do you got for music, Ross? I hope it's good.
I put down 90s country because I feel that I can listen to any country and enjoy it. I love country music in general. And anyone in my life who's listening to this is like, we know, Hadassah, stop talking about it. We know you like country music, but that's what makes me happy. So I can't think of another thing that makes me the most happiest. And if I want to be more specific, I would say like 90s country. And even to be like more specific, I love Brooks and Dunn. I love Neon Moon. I love the album they put out, the reboot album of, I don't know if it's just Brooks and Dunn reboot album. I don't know what it's called, but they just have so many good songs. So even the sad songs make you feel super pumped up. So that's what is the music that makes me happy. And then like you, I'm also all over the place when it comes to music. Anything that really fits well in my mood. It's not really about genre for me, even though I love country music. I love mood. So it just depends on the mood I'm listening to.
You literally gave your answer in less than 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, because I had to make time. I had to make time for the time you took to talk about Gareth Asher.
But I figured 90s country, I feel like a lot of people that would resonate with them. Like, I know very little country. Do not get me wrong. I am not a huge country music fan. I don't know a lot of it. There are certain songs that will come on, like a Josh Turner song. And I'm like, hey, I know that because back in the day when they had those things called CDs, I bought 1 or 2 of those.
Yo, my voice right now sounds like Josh Turner. Baby, lock the door and turn the lights off. I shouldn't do that. I know you're going to keep this in the editing.
I'm so keeping that in.
No, see, this is the problem with letting you edit now.
We can't edit. Yeah. So whoever gets to edit gets free liberties at what they keep and what they don't keep.
This is true.
It's almost like torture for the other one not editing. Okay, so you can sound like Josh Turner, and if I get raspy, I'll sound like Janis Joplin.
You don't get raspy. You get more high pitch.
Great. Who sings high pitch? Hold on. Let's think about this. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. But it's funny when we thought about this idea of starting the podcast, I just kept thinking like, oh, we have Audra who's like, hello, I'm Audra and I have such a sweet voice. And I'm like, hello, it's Hadassah. Like I sound like this. But, you know, people still talk about Beauty and the Beast, you know, so it can't be that bad.
Oh my gosh, I would not put us in the category of Beauty and the Beast. Oh my gosh. I love the voices though. And when we hear them back, you know, I still am amazed sometimes. Like I'll catch someone listening to the podcast, i.e. a family member, and I'll be like, hey, that's me. I'm like, oh, hey, that's Hadassah. You know,
do they listen like on their own without being told to?
Well, partly, or I'll leave mine playing and walk out of the room, and then they coincidentally have to listen to it because I haven't shut it off.
Very smart.
That might happen often, like every time we air an episode.
I don't even bother with my husband. I'm like, one time I made him listen to an episode. Actually, the first one, obviously, but which probably I shouldn't have played him that one, but it's fine. But the one that we did of like, name me a time that you feel this, or name me a time where you feel that, right? So that episode 12, I think it was, I don't know. I asked him to listen and he was like, no, it's not my thing. No, that's not true. Actually, he was playing his own game instead of listening. And with the languages, he can't do 2 things at once, you know, because he has to focus on what the language is with English, you know? So I was like, you're not listening. I got super offended. I didn't talk to him the whole morning. I gave him a silent treatment at his parents' house because we went for the meal.
Oh, this went deep. You went all the way to the in-laws and ignored him.
But I wasn't even like mad on my face. I was just like a little like too cool for school on my face. You know, I was just like, oh, not going to talk to him. Because it's like, I mean, I would listen to his podcast if he, you know, had one. And I don't always make him do it. I just thought he would like it. And then on the way home, he was like, okay, well, I would love to hear your podcast because he saw that I was mad. So we walked home. It was like a 30-minute walk, and that covered half the episode because it was a long episode. But he loved it. He loved it.
I would have been, I mean, not to say that I'm petty, but once in a while you have a mood. I might have been like at the in-laws' house, and maybe I would have, okay, maybe I wouldn't have truly, but maybe I would have thought of saying, hey, does everyone want to hear my episode? Make everybody listen to it.
Oh, I wouldn't, like, my in-laws don't speak English. Like, maybe my sister-in-law listens, but I'm pretty sure like she probably has like very important things to do because she has a really good job and she's busy. So I think she would listen. Like, I don't think she wouldn't, you know. But that's probably the only one that would be like, oh, let me give it a shot. The other ones are just like, okay, this is nice. So she talks in a microphone sometimes for what? They don't understand the concept. Like, I don't think podcasts are a thing here in Israel as much. So.
Gotcha. Funny though, but I gotcha.
Yeah. The first time I had to explain to them, they were like, so how does this work? And like, what? It's like a TV show? I was like, a what? And I was like, what? Radio? No.
Well, no, because like my family's the complete opposite. I said I was doing a podcast and they're all like, oh, wow, cool. Are you going to do YouTube? What other platforms are you going to go on to? Like they want to see it all everywhere, you know?
I am not going back on YouTube.
Because she went there once, people.
Yes. But if it was before my legal age, does it still count?
Legally or respectfully? I would say respectfully. You cannot be held accountable for things you did under the age of 18.
That's almost my whole life.
Go on.
Right. So let's continue our favorite things that make us happy, because we could talk about, you see, one little thing for forever. So let's continue. Audra, what is a podcast that you listen to? Obviously not ours, although I know you listen and I know you laugh to us.
Yes, I do. And I laugh about laughing out. Yeah.
No, you laugh whenever you laugh on the podcast.
I know.
Or if you say something funny, you're laughing, you're dying.
I laugh at myself all the time because let's face it, people, if you cannot laugh at yourself, then who are you really laughing at? Like, come on. Like, I find myself funny, even if nobody else does.
Oh, I laugh at myself too. We're very compatible in that sense.
Oh, yeah, because most of the time I'm either laughing at myself or I'm laughing at you. It's either way.
All right. What is a podcast you like to listen to, Audra?
There are so many. I mean, Cripes, all I ever did when I worked my normal 9-to-5 job was listen to podcasts during the day. It's literally what kept me there 8 hours a day without wanting to stick toothpicks in my eyeballs.
But like what?
I would have to say 4 Things with Amy Brown. Not because I'm slightly partial to the Bobby Bones show, because I am, but because she has literally a podcast that covers 4 topics each episode. She even has a 5th episode that comes out, and a whole nother podcast called Outweigh, which touches all about a whole nother subject.
One option, Audra.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying this one person has all these things. But her 4 Things podcast touches on 4 different subjects that I absolutely can relate to. She has some good guests that come on. Yes. She covers topics that I love and that resonate with me. She says things that make me laugh. She says things that make me cry in a good way. And then she has some good tips and stuff, like everything from beauty to fashion to lifestyle. I just love it. Love it all.
My favorite podcast I would listen to, besides for the Bobby Bones show, because I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to talk about that every episode. That's not just who I am. I'm more free than that. And it's not that exciting unless you listen to The Bachelor. And if you listen to The Bachelor, then if you watch The Bachelor, my bad, then you do know this podcast probably. And it's called The Viall Files. And it's Nick Viall. And he has like Bachelor recap episodes, but he also has guests on to talk about like various things. And then he also has his Ask Nick episodes, which are my favorite. And they come out every Monday or Tuesday, one of the two. I can't remember ever, but I know it's one of those days. I think Monday. And I believe it's Monday because I always listen to it after therapy while I'm like around the house or whatever. And it's so good. It's like people calling with their relationship and dating advice. And every single time I'm like, I always feel like so relatable to these stories. And I always feel like I want to give the advice too. So I'm always like, I have such a good answer. I would be so good at this answer, you know, but
Wait, was
that
Nick, who does the podcast, was he on The Bachelor?
he was on The Bachelorette and made it to second place. Then he was on The Bachelorette again and also made it to second place again. And then was The Bachelor. He got engaged to a girl named Vanessa, and then Vanessa and him later broke up. But then I think he went on Bachelor in Paradise also before he went on The Bachelor. So that might have, yeah. He went on Bachelor in Paradise before he went on The Bachelor. So whatever. He's been on multiple times, and now he has his own podcast. And yeah. Oh, and he has an incest.
What?
1 second. I always get this word wrong. 1 second.
Yeah, incest is not the right word.
He has an incense line.
Incense?
Incense.
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 You know what I'm talking about? Like things you burn?
Yeah, it's INCEN.
Oh, no, wait. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think I'm wrong. Wait 1 second.
No.
I think he has what are those things that like steam up? See, I listen to it all the time. How do I not know? Maybe it is incense.
Vapor?
Yeah, like those what are those things that are in like make the smells and like you put oils in it? Essential oil. There it is. Essential oil. He has an essential oil line.
It's an essential oil. Okay. So we have hilarious. I do not know anything about The Bachelor. I try so hard to keep up with this one season that's on TV, and I've caught like halfway through it, and I still can't wrap my head around what is happening with all these people. But
like I said on a different episode, wait until next season. Wait till a different season. I mean,
okay, so you're gonna make me watch it some more. That's awesome. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Right.
So this gentleman was on multiple. There's not only Bachelor, there's Bachelorettes. So he was on multiple Bachelorette episodes. Then he had his own Bachelor season. Then he was on Bachelor in Paradise. Stop me if I'm wrong. And now he has an essential oils line. Like, and he still hasn't found love some way, somehow.
No, he has. He has found, I don't know if they said the L word yet, but he's dating now.
Oh, he's dating.
This girl.
Wouldn't he have been dating this whole time?
No, he was like more having like hookups kind of thing. And then now he's he's in a new relationship.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, this stuff, this is some deep conversation. I thought they were all dating on these shows, which is weird because you have one person and everybody's dating this one individual, trying to be like the last one that survives, it sounds like.
Audra, let's not use our podcast to like talk, garbage about my favorite shows. Okay.
It's not garbage. I'm just trying to understand what's happening and the things that I have witnessed thus far. I still can't comprehend exactly what's happening. But I'm just thinking, if you have this gentleman and he's been on all these shows and he has essential oils line and now he has his own podcast, why he still can't find love?
He did.
No, you said they haven't even said the L word.
I never said that. I said I don't know if they said the L word because I was going to say that he has found love, but I don't know if he found love. Maybe he found or falling in love.
Found like. He likes a lot of people.
See, I did not. This was something that brought me joy. Why are you like bashing on my thing that brings me joy?
You're so passionate about The Bachelor. I love that you're passionate about what you love. It cracks me up though, because it's something where like there's things that I love that people just don't get. This is just one of those things that you love. And I'm like, I don't get it.
The funniest part about all of this is like, I'm being all passionate, serious, but then I look at myself in the Zoom and I literally look like a Minecraft character. Sometimes when we do like group calls on like Messenger, we'll put on these like silly faces and then it's just funny. It's freeing because you look ugly, you look crazy, but you don't care. This though is not a filter. This is actually how I look.
If you all could see a picture of this.
No.
She is not wrong. This is hilarious. But yeah, right. You kind of do look like someone in Minecraft, I will say, because I've actually played that game.
Oh, really? Me too. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Not on the podcast. We're not going to talk about it here. Let's continue. What is a TV show or movie that brings you happiness? So don't do both. Don't go into a 20-minute conversation. Maybe like a few minutes. Why don't you give yourself a 60-second timer or something like that?
I'm not putting a timer on it, but I'll be mindful of the clock. However, I will not use a TV show, though there are so many that I could pick, and that's why it would be hard. But hands down, ultimate favorite movie ever in the whole world. Watch it every single year, if not twice a year. Dirty Dancing. Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey, that one summer back in 1963. It is hands down the most romantic movie, but there's so many things that like would make your head spin about the movie. But I'm in love with that movie. And the end of the movie takes place over Labor Day weekend. And literally every Labor Day weekend, I make everyone watch it. Or at least I put it on and everybody ends up coming in the room. But all year long, when we're not watching the movie, we say quotes from the movie or lines from the movie all the time. What about you? What's your go-to movie or TV show?
Do you want to guess what I was going to say for TV show?
No.
Well, it seems like we covered all the chatting on this one already, so we don't have to go there again. But I would say The Bachelor, just because it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I like it, you know?
What gives you joy from The Bachelor?
All the gossip and the drama. I like Reality Steve. He always gives the spoilers, so I already know what's going to happen. And then like Matt is like a cutie for sure.
Wait a minute. You're watching the show and then you're listening to someone who gives spoilers to the show before you watch it?
No, I saw the spoilers before like the season even came out, and then he updates it as he goes.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know if I would want to know the spoilers.
Really? Like, okay, so I know who wins, but I guess I don't know like what happened because things are happening in real time as well. I've known since the beginning who was going to win.
Wow. Okay. I don't think I've ever watched a show where there was, I mean, maybe there were spoilers and I just didn't pay attention to them, but I don't think I ever watched anything that's that fascinating or that much of a reality show to have a spoiler. Oh.
Imagine this, okay? And I don't want to get into it that much because my job in this world is not to convince people to watch a Bachelor. I don't care, right? But you start off by watching one season. So my first season was the farmer. What's his name? She's looking at me like I've got no idea. His Chris Soules. I started with Chris Soules season. I was really invested because I'd never seen something like that. And then one of the girls from Chris Soules season, Caitlin, was the Bachelorette. So you know who it's going to be because you've grown to attach yourself to this person because the Bachelor edits this show and gives everybody storyline. So it's like listening to a big old book. And it's a series because one of the characters has her own series the next season. And you start to see her date a bunch of guys. And then one of those guys that she didn't pick, but everybody loved, he's the next Bachelor. And it goes back and forth. And sometimes there's exceptions and that's great. But once you get into this, and then there's Bachelor in Paradise and they all come out to the beach and they're all stop laughing at me.
Come on now.
Yo, I wasn't complaining when you were talking about Gareth Asher the whole time, okay? So just keep going, okay?
I guess how many seasons are there of... So there's Bachelor, there's Bachelorette, and Bachelor in Paradise? Like how many seasons? How long has this?
Oh, there was also Listen to Your Heart, which came out at the beginning of the pandemic, which I didn't really care for, but whatever. And then there's like Bachelor Pad that used to be. I don't know really, to be honest, anything about that. And then there was like Bachelor Winter Games. I think there was a Bachelor Summer Games, to be honest. I don't know. There's all.
Wait, how many years has this been going on? Am I that out of the loop?
Oh, talk about a loop. Let's not even get into the Bachelor loop. The Bachelor loop it's called Bachelor franchise, and it is messy, y'all. It is messy. You do not want to get, like, if you are into it, you're into it, and it's like very intriguing. But if you're not, like, you're only missing like less stress.
I'm looking to see how long The Bachelor has started. 2002?
Yeah.
This thing is almost 20 years old? 2002, you were like a toddler.
Yes.
That's terrible. You were like so well. Now I want to know how many people actually got together and stayed together. I have so many questions.
Okay, well, maybe we can bring up The Bachelor on a different episode
we should.
Because we can get to those questions, but I don't think I'm prepared for any of those right now.
We'll give her a little time, folks, before we start.
Also but like I said, my job isn't to make you like The Bachelor. Like I truly don't care. It's like country music. I don't care if people listen to country music or not. It doesn't bother me.
No, but it's what brings you joy or makes you have whatever feelings that you have. And it's something that you love. So I want to know more about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get on. Maybe we'll do one of Friday's episodes. We'll have a little batch chat.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a little Bachelor and a little Dirty Dancing recap. How's that?
That sounds perfect. But we do have one more question. One more, whatever you call it, media favorites. And that is like YouTube channel or like TikTok channel or something like that. So what is your YouTube/video channel that brings you happiness?
Mine is funny because mine is a family, and uniquely their daughter's name is Audra, which I don't hear all that often. And she's adorable. They have other kids as well, but she is like the only girl. So it's amazing. But it's called Moss Family TV. They only do like 10 to 15 minute long segments, but they do one every single day. And it's like the mom in the family, who I believe is around my age. She might be just a couple years younger than I am. Her and her husband, I mean, they have a religious side, which I don't watch it for religious purposes. They don't really talk about religion. They just have a whole separate thing on their religion as well, like their music part. They have a band, like they are musicians as well, but they live in a farm, and he shoes horses. You know, the horseshoe that goes at the bottom of the horse's foot. He goes on and he trains horses as well. But they have these little segments, and she does like a little cooking video of what they made for dinner or a grocery haul, which I find fascinating. So many people watch grocery hauls, but she has them on there.
Oh, that's the best grocery hauls.
When you see these like tables and counters full of food and you're like, what did they buy? Why they got so much of? And for me, it's like, what deal can you have? But some of the stores that they have, we don't have up here, but some of them we do. So that's what's intriguing to me, is just watching somebody who's basically living their life and recording it. But it's definitely the recipes, sometimes music, if she does play a clip on there. And then just the interactions of the kids. They're like really, really funny, and she homeschools them. So, but it's cute. Like I said, it's like 10 to 15 minutes, and they have one every day. What about you?
I have to watch that. I like Crash Course. You know what that is?
Was it a show on TV? Or am I thinking of something?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's, what's his name? The guy that wrote, can you name me some famous authors real quick?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
Who wrote Harry Potter?
A woman?
No, not him.
Definitely not that person.
Hold on, let me Google this. I know it's so when people are gonna be like, oh, I know who that is.
I think I'm thinking of like the ones that are on TV that it's like a course over water.
Oh, John Green.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
John and Hank Green, it says. Okay. Well, whatever. Basically, they have like crash courses and like different things educational. So you can like check their categories. They have like American history. They got economics. I'm just making up, honestly, titles, but
like physical. I was thinking obstacle courses.
No, crash course, like a crash course of a.
I was thinking like crash obstacle course. Oh, that's terrible. Yours is educational.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes me feel happy to learn new things. I've always been that type to want to. You know, they have geography, linguistics, linguistics.
Linguistics. What is happening over there? Say it with me. Linguistics.
Linguistics.
There you go.
Yeah. They have history, literature. Oh my God, it's playing in my headphones. Oops, one second. Let me shut this off. How do I shut this off?
That's hilarious. I love this. So it's called Crash Course on YouTube.
Yeah, I think you would like the psychology ones. I made it like 2 videos, and I'm very bad at like watching the whole thing, but I do want to.
Well, that's why I like the Moss Family TV, because they're really, really short.
Oh, no, these are also, they're like 6 minutes long. And there's characters. Really? You're going to love it. It's like meant to like educate, you know?
Oh, I love that. I mean, I love any of that type of things. I mean, before social media and all the different platforms were a thing, I did what I think there's even an app called Brain Games. But before even cell phones were a thing, I did little brain games. So if you did a crossword or word search, usually a word search, those are my ultimate favorites. Mm-hmm. I constantly did brain games. And it was because my grandma, I cannot do Sudoku. I'm a numbers person and I do not like Sudoku.
Oh, love Sudoku. Oh, my husband and I can play it and compete against each other for hours.
No, I love numbers and I literally cannot. I tried it several times. I think I had an app on my phone at one point for it. My daughter loved it, but I just can't get into it. I'm more of a word association. So I can pull out words from letters, see how many words you can find, finding certain words. If you jumble up a whole bunch together and you have to make something from nothing, pretty much my life, I made something from nothing. I do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know. So fantastic.
So interesting. Wow. Okay. Let's move past that. Those were the only media categories that we're going to do because if you know us, we are going to manage to talk about basically anything and we need to hop off so that we can edit this and put it up and not have 2-3 hours of editing to work with. So coming up next Wednesday, we are going to have a very interesting conversation about intentions. So kind of like being more intentional with things. And we're not going to get much into that right now because we will see on Wednesday. So look out for that. All right. So we are going to wrap up for today. We want to invite you to subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to it right now. This way you can get notified when we put out new episodes each Wednesday and Friday. Also, we want to invite you on our podcast to share your story. We know that everybody has a story, whether it's unique or if it's relatable to other people or whatever. Everybody deserves to share their story, and we want to use our platform so we can have a voice, but we also want to give a voice to whoever wants to share.
So you can find us on social media at abitabovepod or email us at abitabovepod@gmail.com.
We put out episodes every Wednesday and Friday, so look out for the next episode coming out on Wednesday. We'll see you then.
Bye.